What's up, y'all? I'm PC McCray.
Hey, y'all. My name is Shaunda Head, and this is the Everything Has Changed podcast.
From 2 college roommates to 40-something adults, life has been lifing, and we want to talk about it. We're the new adults, y'all. How did that happen?
I don't know, P, but we got to talk about it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey.
Hey, P.
Hi.
What's up?
Yep. You all right? We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Just had a little laugh session. Had to get the tears out of my eyes. Good tears, but still. Had to fix myself up before we turn the camera on. How are we today?
Oh, doing all right.
Okay.
Yep. Had a death in the family. My uncle, my dad's middle brother, passed away and had to travel down to Miami to celebrate his life and put him to rest. And I'm just worried about my dad. Everything he's been through physically, I think this emotional part is hard for him to bounce back from. And so just keep him in prayer.
Yes. All of
Just
y'all.
keep him in prayer. Oh, yes.
Prayers growing up.
Yes.
It's
How are
a
you?
hard thing. I'm doing fine. I had a bit of a morning
Mm.
that I wanted to share with you because I
Okay.
thought you would find this interesting. I woke up this morning. First of all, my child wakes me up most because she's an early riser, unlike her mother.
Mm.
And she's caught on that nothing will get done in his house unless mommy is up. So as soon as she wakes up, she come on and get me. And she politely waits until I actually get up. And then she's like, okay, then we can go get our day started.
She's so cute.
So I wake up to her in my face. And I'm like, oh, good morning, Teeks. Yeah. And I'm like, what's that smell? It smells like, it don't smell good. It doesn't. And I'm looking, I'm like, did we have an accident overnight, babes? You know? But then I'm like, oh, it doesn't smell, okay, like a normal accident. It smells more like the dog.
Oh, no.
So now I switch from concern to attitude. Because I'm like, I know this dog didn't relieve herself in the house overnight. I come out, and Teague is skipping along because she's like, all right, mommy's up. Breakfast time. Turn the TV on. Let me get my toys. Let me get my things.
I love it.
Meanwhile, I'm walking around stiff. Like, and I'm trying to follow the smell. I'm turning lights on. I'm looking at the floor. I'm seeing nothing. But when I go in the dog's room, I say it's a dog. It's not, the dog doesn't have her own room. Okay. But she kind of does because I don't be in there. She got like the whole little front space in the house is where her crate is and everything that belongs to her. So when she goes to sleep, she go up there, get in her bed, all that. And I walk up there and she's crouched on the floor. Like there's a position that she takes when she's done wrong.
Oh,
and I said, Nala, where is it? What happened? What's going on? And she's like laying flat on the floor, like as flat as she could be. Just looking up at me. But I don't see anything, Pete.
Oh, no.
So then I head over into the kitchen. I get Teeks her things. I turn her TV on. She's sitting down. She's pumped up now. She's got what she needs to enjoy herself, entertain herself. I turn the corner. I walk back down the hallway. And I'm like, oh, but I smell it again. Like, this is not like a phantom smell. I smell it again. And I look down, Pete, in front of my bedroom door is what used to be a pile of dog shit, if you will. And I say used to be because it wasn't even the solid kind. Sorry, TMI, for people who can't take this. It wasn't solid. And then it was in the carpet, like it had been like rubbed into the carpet. And I didn't see it when I came out because I wasn't looking down at my feet. I'm headed like, where's the dog? Where's the shit at? And it was right at the front of my door. Like almost like she tried to come to the door and tell me, hey, I need to go
Hey,
outside. Okay.
hey.
Hey. But mommy ain't hear none of that, right? And so, but
Oh,
it looked
no.
like it was more, but it looked like it started off as more and it didn't end up as more, if you will. And then I remember who my child is.
Oh, no.
And I remember that, she has sensory issues. So she's a toucher and a feeler. But if it doesn't feel good or if it's slimy or whatever, then she wants to get it off of her. And for some reason, to get it off of her, she's like, okay, let me rub it in my skin.
Ow.
Let me rub it. Of course, let me rub it on my clothes, but let me rub it, which
Tegan.
explains why it smelled so bad when she woke me up. So I go back to the kitchen and I look at her for real. And her legs are just
Ah.
browner than normal.
Jesus Christ. Put the whole baby in the tub. Put her in the washing machine. The
And
whole Oh
she
God.
had therapy today. So it wasn't even like it was the weekend. So now I'm like, well, do I let her finish her food or answer? Actually, no. Because also now I'm like, of course your
It's
hands are dirty
her
because you rubbed it
hands.
into yourself.
Yeah.
So I let the dog outside to go relieve herself because I'm like, just girl, just go. Just go. And she takes
Oh,
off running. Then I'm
oh
come back
gosh.
inside. I take T, hey, put your food down. We going right here in the bathroom. Let's just go ahead. Let's get it done now. Um, it was a morning. And then so Nala came back inside and then I put in her crate because I'm like, if you're gonna be first of all, you did wrong. So that means crate time. But then I'm like, if you sick or whatever, it needs to, hey, great time. Cause then that's where it's got to be. Mommy can easily clean up. And lo and behold, before we leave to go to therapy, I'm hearing like some choking noises. And I'm
Oh.
running through the house because I was in my room getting ready, putting clothes on. And I'm like, Teagues is choking. Teagues is choking. First of all, Tegan wasn't even eating. So I don't even know what, but I'm hearing choking. It's the dog throwing up.
Okay. All right.
So thankfully, she was in her crate, which is where she's supposed to be if she's sick, because easy cleanup. So clean that up. Let her go back outside again in case she got to get some more out real quick. And come to find out, she had gotten into.
Mm-mm.
I've been trying to clean up in my office, and I just had these bags of paper trash, only paper. But for some reason, I guess overnight, she felt like it might be something in there that she needed to eat. So she just broke into one of these random paper trash bags and then ate something she's not supposed to eat.
Jesus.
And my dog knows better. My dog is old and she will be 12 in a couple months. Very well trained. So whenever she does something like this, I'm like, okay, she's pretty much always it's sickness because she don't
Yeah.
just do that. She don't just use the bathroom in the house or any of that stuff. But I'm saying that, but then once she turned 10, I noticed she just decided she don't follow instructions anymore either. So actually, I don't know no more. She just the old lady in here.
She's like, I'ma do what I wanna
I'ma do what
do.
I wanna do, and then she feel like if Teague let her do something, that's good enough. I'm like, "Tegan, it's not mommy. Mommy did not say."
Oh, Tegan.
But she be like, "Okay, a human has told me that I could come in here and eat the carpet, so Imma come in and eat the carpet." So,
Mm-mm,
that was my
mm-mm.
morning. I'm happy to say we've had no more mishaps since then.
Praise God.
So, praise God. So she should be able
Wow.
to leave the crate. But we had a morning.
That's a
Meanwhile,
morning.
Teague was pumped because Teague loves bath time. So Teague was
Oh,
like, "Ooh, I get to take a bath."
yeah, you do.
I
Oh my God.
don't know why would you do that?
Oh, and then you had to clean up the carpet and just okay. And get her off to school in time. God
Look,
bless you.
we did it. It's done. But it was. It was a morning. It was a morning around
Uh,
here.
to say the least.
The ladies had a morning.
Wow.
The ladies had a morning. But, yeah, besides that, doing okay.
Well,
Doing
uh,
okay. I'll be honest, I've seen and handled a lot more bodily fluids than I would like to in my lifetime journey, just from
oh
fatigue,
gosh.
that because autistic kids have a different journey to potty training,
Yeah.
than others. So I gotta go up there every couple weeks for our parent training, and her therapist be like, "You be coming in here with some wild stories, and you be laughing when you tell them." She was like, "If it happened to me, I wouldn't be laughing." And I'm like, you just,
It's
laugh
the
to keep
only
from crying,
way.
cause what I'ma
Yeah.
do? Like, can't stop it,
Yeah.
so we do what we can, but yeah, there's always a story. So today Nala was like, "Let me get in on this action.
Let me add into the fun.
Let me just, give you a little something, something to spruce up your Monday morning."
Okay. Nyla.
But yeah, girl, she'll be 12. And it's interesting because my cousin asked me one time, we were talking about grief, because she's a listener. She's a
Thank
friend
you,
to the
cousin.
show. Yeah, she's a
Thank
listener to the
you.
podcast. And so we were talking about, because one of the episodes where we talked about grief.
Mhm,
And she was asking me if I ever had any anticipatory grief. I
mhm,
had to think about it, and I was like, honestly, no, but that is because it's already happened for me, if that makes sense. But
mhm,
then I thought about it more. I said, I actually do though, and this is weird, but I do concerning my dog. Like,
mhm,
just because we know they have like a lifespan that is finite, it can only go so long. And so once they get a certain age, it's like, and she'll be 12. And then she's a pit bull, which to my understanding, they don't live as long as other dogs. I think they get more diseases and stuff like that. And so
mhm.
I I was like, actually, like, I noticed over the past year, I keep looking at her and she got all this gray in her face. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I'm looking at her like, it makes me sad sometimes I look at her because
Yeah.
it's, it's, it got to be, I don't wanna say it's getting close, but when I think about anticipatory grief for me now, because of the things that have already happened, now it's just
Yeah.
like, I just be looking at my dog thinking about that kind of stuff just because you could tell she's older now, you know?
Yeah. And
And then
she's part of the family.
oh, yeah, because Nala came to me at either 5 or 6 weeks,
Oh,
and it was after mommy it was so that I wouldn't be alone, in the house after mommy died. So,
yeah.
to me, she's also like a record keeper of that
Mhm,
time period. So, she's been a
mm.
great dog till she started getting old, and she be like, "Fuck y'all.
To
Gotta
do
do
what
what
you
y'all
wanna
say."
do.
Yeah. Like, cause everybody would comment on how well trained and stuff she is, and then one day she's like, "You know what? I don't wanna be that anymore.
No,
I
don't
don't
wanna
wanna
do
be
it.
that anymore. No, thank you."
I think I'm old enough and I've earned
Yeah.
the fact that I don't wanna do that.
I've earned a little do what you wanna do. What about you, Pete?
Do what you wanna.
Do you ever think about anticipatory grief? Is that a
Yeah.
thing for you after having gone through so
Mhm.
much already?
Mhm. Yep. You have one parent, and especially when they have an illness, so it's heartbreaking seeing the illness take place and take hold of them,
Yeah.
knowing what the end is. And then so now with my dad having the same disease and watching him decline. And I mentioned the physical aspect, all of his physical ailments, he's been able to bounce back, but this emotional part, when he found out his brother passed, I can see the acceleration in the symptoms of
Mhm.
the disease. It's the emotion of that has taken him out.
Yeah.
It's too much for him, and so I see just in the last 2 weeks, I've seen, an acceleration, and, I pray and just ask for peace over him, over me. He's already told me. He's already said he wants to be with his wife, so long time
Yeah.
ago. And when he said, "Just know that when it is my turn, I'm at peace. That's where I wanna be."
Mm, mhm.
And so I have to rest on that. He's already told me. So I take full advantage just of the time that we have that now. I take pictures and just try to ask a lot of questions and talk. And he'll be 80 February 11th. And
Ooh, it's
so
coming up.
it's
Okay.
coming up. So I want to try
Aquarius.
to,
Aquarius?
child,
No.
child. Yes, yes,
Yes? Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes. So I'm trying to figure out how to celebrate it. Not too much.
Yeah.
One flu season. Can't get him like that.
Yes.
But he's also just in a place where he doesn't wanna be around a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm still working it out. Well, he'll be celebrated for sure.
He said he ain't trying to put on for
Yeah.
55 people. He tryna give me my
Yeah.
daughter, okay?
Yeah.
My
And
brother.
pretty much. And sometimes, he can say no, and then I'm like, "He really would like something." But this one is like, "Mm-mm,
Yeah.
don't don't make a fuss." He always says, "Don't make a fuss out of my birthday." Yeah, we're absolutely gonna make a fuss because 80 is a big deal,
We love a fuss.
considering
80 is a big deal.
it's a big deal,
Yeah,
considering
for sure.
everything that he's been through. So it was a tough weekend, just watching him mourn his brother and
Yeah.
yeah. So, but here we are.
I
Here we are.
recall when Granny lost her last sibling.
Mm,
When she was so far progressed though in the dementia and the Alzheimer's that she couldn't remember that it after it happened, I guess.
mm,
So folks were like, "How are you gonna tell her? Are you gonna tell her?" And all these things. I'm like, "Well, I need to try to tell her because this was her last living sibling and they were pretty close considering."
yeah,
Um, and so I remember I like got down on my knees and I looked her in her face because she was in a wheelchair.
yeah.
And I told her, um, because she was also when their other sibling died, when Aunt Belle died, she had dementia then as well. But she understood, and in a few days, but she was also in the hospital when it happened, when we found out. So when we got back
Mm,
home, we actually left the hospital, go straight to her funeral. And they
mm,
they kind of they wanted to know. I remember them asking us, when does Granny get out the hospital? Because we would like
mhm,
her to be there if she can. And so she was able to. So we went straight there and then came back home and all that. And I remember a couple weeks later, she's like, "Did I dream it or did
mm.
Belle die?" And I said, "Yes, yes, ma'am, Granny. Belle, she did pass." And then, she got sad and she cried.
Yeah.
But when her brother died, a couple years later, her last living sibling, and I got on my knees, I looked in her face and I said, "I just want you to know, Uncle Junior passed." And I saw her face shift in the moment,
Mhm, mhm,
right? Just like I thought about that when you said what you said about your dad. Her face shifted, so I knew that she understood,
mhm.
but she didn't have like a verbal reaction, And then she cried, and then
Yeah.
um, we ate some lunch. I came back in the room like 30 minutes later, and it was as if nothing happened. So I'm like, okay, so our window is up,
Mhm.
but I told her, but I knew her spirit knew because from then on she was downhill from there.
Yeah.
But just to put some space between that and, um, what's happening with your dad, I will say Granny was 97 when that
Mhm.
last one, when her last sibling passed. So, um, but for her and her age and all that, it was just like so 2 months later, she was gone. But I think
Yeah.
she had gotten to a place. I think there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 of them, I wanna say, and, so at that point, that was everybody. Um, so but yeah, it's
Ooh.
trying to catch that window. It's like you want them to know what's going on, you don't want them to be out of the loop, but you
Mhm.
also don't want it to affect them, but then it's like, okay, how can it not affect you? And so it's always that interesting dynamic of how do I communicate this? What are they holding on to? What are they not holding on to?
Mhm.
Type of thing. So at least it sounds as if your dad is he's not as progressed as he could be. So and he's still
Correct.
able to make decisions and things like that. So that is awesome because um, it's a progressive thing. But it also
Mhm.
sometimes can be a long-standing thing. So it's
Mhm.
like if you have to have it, at least it's like, okay, it's not like tomorrow something will be different. At
Yeah.
least we can let's fellowship and enjoy each other while these windows are longer.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Mm.
people can have dementia for 20 years.
Easy. Several.
Yeah.
Especially if they
Yeah.
don't have other medical issues. Um,
Yes.
but like I was saying with him though, the acceleration, the repeating, he wasn't doing that. So that was almost like overnight.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Okay.
like he heard that news and the power of that emotion just did something to his brain chemistry, and ever since then, he wasn't, that recall wasn't
Yeah.
as severe. Now, I'll be like, "Hey, dad, I'm coming over or something," and he'll forget that I'm there in the house or that we just talked about something
Mm.
a minute ago. That wasn't happening 2 weeks ago. So, you know, just day by day,
Day by day. A doctor once
day
told me
by
that
day. Mhm.
trauma moves dementia fast. Like after a traumatic thing, it's like
Mhm.
it pushes them to the next step. So I feel for you and watching that. People say some kind of things that I've about dementia and Alzheimer's that I feel like can be I don't want to say inconsiderate, but it just feels like it is a tough thing
Very.
watching this. And people want to say, "Oh, but they're just going back to being a kid," or "Oh, the cycle of life." It was like, no,
Mm.
like not saying that's not actually what's
Sure.
happening, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean like it's okay. Like it's extremely
No.
hard to sit by and watch these things because these are the people that raised you and gave you everything, and now it's like a clock turning back, and then people don't
Mhm.
understand the things because you thinking, oh, they're just gonna forget birthdays and they're gonna forget dates, and
Mm-mm.
eventually they might forget who you are, and it's like, yes, but the older you are, and if you're still living with dementia, then there's other things you're gonna forget too, like how to go to the bathroom or how to eat, how to use a
Mhm.
spoon, how to use a straw. Like people don't think about these things.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's not I don't know, I just hear a lot about, oh, cycle of life, Okay,
Child.
well, why don't you volunteer to take this journey and see what that looks like in your house? It is
It's
not only is
not
not an easy thing, it is a thing that it's like it cracks at you.
bit by bit, piece by piece by
And
piece.
that's not even talking about the person that's actually happening to. Talking about the people
Exactly.
that's like so
As a caregiver. One person was like, "Oh, yeah, put some, sticky, uh, tabs up," sorta like in Color Purple when she's learning to
yeah.
read. Yeah, that works when your brain can translate what that is, but when you forget that
Mhm.
you can't even read, but you don't even know what a TV is,
Mhm.
that defeats the purpose,
And that's
and they get
something
to
that
that point.
yeah, cause they do that themselves, especially when they don't
Mhm.
want other people to know that they're forgetting things. Like, I
Yep.
remember walking into Granny's house and it was Post-its everywhere, but
Everywhere.
then one day she didn't recognize her own handwriting, and she said that there
See?
was a woman coming in her home, writing things on Post-its and leaving them around. She said there was a
Mhm.
woman writing checks out of her checkbook when it was her handwriting because I did check.
Yeah,
I
just to make
looked
sure.
just to make
Right.
sure, you
Yeah.
know? It was her and her handwriting, so it's yeah, no. Yeah, but
No.
that's something that they will do for themselves because But of course you would wanna fight. Of course you would wanna fight that from happening too as well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we forget, it's like, "Okay, well, when I get to this point, how am I gonna feel?" You know?
Same way.
So, it's
Survival. You wanna fight for your independence as much as possible, and I try to give him that. As a man, he still wants to help, and so some things I let him kinda do, and then, I have to come back behind him and clean it up or whatever it is, but he at least gets to help, and he
yeah,
feels like he helped do something, and so I have to remember that, to always just keep him involved as much as possible. Same thing I did with mom as long as I could. So,
yeah,
yeah, just keep us in prayer.
absolutely will.
It's just like he's day by day, day by day. Here we are. Here we
You
are.
do a good job, P, man.
Thank
I
you.
don't know what alls you be doing over there, but you do a good job of showing up day by day.
Child,
You do.
child. Calling on
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
Lord for help in
Mhm.
prayer. But yeah. So speaking of the Lord, let's go ahead and get some giggles going. Uh,
I had to rein my giggles in,
let's
before we
bring them
start.
back
Yeah, yeah,
because
we
I
need the giggles.
don't want to be heavy.
Yeah,
The comedian Druski
yeah.
recently did his parody of black mega churches
Mhm.
and got the saints riled up
They got a little pissed them all the way off.
all the way. Now, I've seen some pastors say that it was funny. They can admit
Okay,
that it was funny,
thank you.
but they don't appreciate the mockery of the institution of church. Well, he was using real examples, as we can put in our show notes later on. I shared with Shaunda, that's why she had the giggles. She hadn't
Yeah.
seen that he didn't just make these up. Like,
I
this
did
wasn't
not
just
know it was actual.
something that came to his mind. No, these were actual pastors who did these things, flying in,
That
harnessed.
but
Uh,
in the picture, and we'll put
like,
it in show notes,
sir.
but the video P sent me of the man in the harness
Uh-huh.
flying over his congregation,
Yeah.
he didn't look like it was his idea even. He just standing there, and the thing is just, and it's, I don't know what I thought Drewski, it's not that of course I'm like, he does these things, so he does research, and he'll come across things. I'm thinking he's coming across it's a whole satire. And P was like, no,
Mm-mm.
he took
No,
these specific examples, and I was
it's
like,
real.
oh my God, it's a
Yeah.
horror.
So I had to send her several tweets and the references that
Yeah.
he was using. So all of that was true. All of that, down to the when the skit he exaggeration, but it's true. Down to Marvin Winans telling him to lock the doors
Yeah.
while he was taking up a collection. To the man flying in, having a Bentley and
Yeah.
driving off and
It,
saying, "Forget you."
yeah.
It
But he said he's got on the Christian, was it Louboutins or was it the Christian
Christian
Dior? But he
Christian
said, "'Cause I'm a
Louboutin
Christian." So,
got the red bottoms because I be in the blood.
Yes.
Mm,
But for them to be upset talking about he's making a mockery, when it's like, but are you upset at the pastors that are doing the thing? 'Cause like you said, P, he literally is doing exactly to the
mhm,
T of what the pastors do. So it's like, are you not is that not a mockery? Because my example was Mike Todd. So, like,
he was
soon as
all
I
up in
saw the
there.
video and not even knowing if Mike Todd was referenced or not, I'm like, "Well,
Mhm.
yes,"
Yeah.
because we've his are the clips that make the rounds of somebody doing something really ridiculous and crazy in the pulpit, such as,
Mhm.
like, you mentioned pouring the syrup on the Bible, and I just saw that, and even I was aghast. And it's like, I I I can take a lot, like, I be down for a lot of stuff, you know? I'm like, "Just let people have their fun, let people do what they wanna do," you know, whatever. Well, when he poured that syrup on that and then
Mhm,
he did it, like, in a circular motion, and then the
mhm.
church was like, I mean, he was like, "Don't act like y'all like this matters to y'all." It's like,
And it's like, actually,
"But
it does.
sir, though, is
Yeah,
okay." But the one I'll never forget is the one that made me stop following him, Mike Todd, was when he spit on
yeah,
the man in the pulpit.
yes,
Turns out the man was his brother,
yep.
okay, because he
Still
felt like
no
that made it
excuse.
better. Right? Because when
Mm-mm,
he came out with his explanation afterwards, but
mm-mm,
he spit on him, and then he rubbed it in his face,
mm-mm,
and he was using that as a
mm-mm,
proper example for his sermon, and I was like, "Alright, I can't,
mm-mm.
like,
Doing too
his
much.
words sometimes be alright, but I always get it without the video too, by the way, like, I was never, like, actually watching the thing, I was just hearing the words, cause when he would talk about crazy faith, I'm like, "That I like that. I get behind that. That seems that's like something that I can tune into." But then I started watching the clips and I was like, "This is
Mm,
what are we
mm-mm,
doing?" And he
mm-mm.
has so many clips of these like wild and egregious things that the trampoline one you sent me. I'm like, okay, he had to move the pews out of the way to
Yep,
set up his trampoline so he could do some backflips
yep.
on Sunday morning. But y'all are upset at Druski for it's all comedy though too, and so it's like everything is available for a joke,
Mhm. For
pretty much.
comedians.
For yeah, and people were talking about, because it's a different year now, it's 2026, but towards the end of 2025, he did he dressed up like the white man and went to the
Mhm.
NASCAR race,
Yeah.
and the white people didn't like that, and they said he was doing white face, which isn't a
Mhm.
thing, number 1, but it's like it's all parodies and comedies and jokes, so he should be allowed to do a parody about the black church, but it seems like, and I don't know if it's true or not, and I think it's Kevin on stage who said it, but he said that this is bigger than the white face one, parody, which that
Yeah.
got really big and it got on like the Tonight Show and stuff like that. So I'm like, this is bigger. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
But it's so on point. It's not
Yeah.
even he didn't even have to put on like he didn't even have to change his voice to pretend to be a character really to
Mm-mm.
be this. He just had to put on some nice clothes and some red bottoms and get in a harness
And say some, "We wanna raise $4,000,000 for the church in Africa, and we're
today.
gonna do that today." Yeah, today. Nobody's
Today.
leaving. And then they cut to wine and saying, "Close the door.
Yeah.
Close the doors. No one's leaving."
And then of course at the end that Kirk Franklin song, I was like, this daggone song is
He
every
would
fucking where.
use Kirk
Where he
Franklin
was fanning himself with the money.
in the back of the church. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
and so I can see how some upstanding pastors may feel a way, but if that's
Mhm.
not you and your congregation,
Right.
that's not you and your congregation.
Right. Like, you know it's some of them out here doing that.
You know it. You know it's some folks out here selling snake oil and using the word of God to manipulate people and take money and doing bad things. Unfortunately, they have gotten the attention, and that's why the mistrust in the black church has grown so much.
Yeah.
But if it's not you and your congregation is doing well, keep doing what you do.
But they try to act like it's like they try to act like they don't see the mistrust of the
Yeah,
church. And
yeah.
it's like, how is anything being resolved if you act like it's not a thing? It's a whole thing. There's been a whole exodus. And
Mhm.
it's not to say that people are leaving God because they're not. But it's
Mm-mm.
just like the understanding of my relationship with God is my relationship with God. Like I don't have to go through you or these things to get there. And maybe
Mhm.
some people did have to earlier in their lives and in their journeys. But if you get to a point where the pastor or something has happened that you don't agree with, you are allowed to go your separate ways and still keep your relationship with Christ.
Mhm.
Even though so and it's almost like, or at least like when we grew up, or When I was coming up, it was you go through this way to get to heaven. It's just this one way,
Mhm.
through this church and through this pastor and through
This
XYZ.
pastor.
And so then that
Yep.
means that when people get to a point where they maybe want to disagree or whatever, they feel like they leave in God if they separate themselves from the pastor. And that's just simply not true
Mm-mm.
in any instance. So, but you know what? It made me think about, remember that movie with Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall? And
Yes.
I was like, did people have this much of an uproar? And I remember there being an uproar,
Mhm.
but was it this big? Because they filmed that right down the road at the church right down the road.
It looked
And
like Georgia.
it was at Greater Travelers Rest. And Sterling K and Regina was literally on the street when the people were honking at them. They were
Yeah.
literally on the street, and it was just random, like driving down flat shows, and people honking at them, probably not even knowing who they were because they were moving so quickly. They were just really just out there in
Wow.
the public. But I remember it being talked about on social media, but I was trying to figure out if it was as big of a deal. And
Mm-mm.
that was during COVID, so it wasn't that long ago.
No. This struck a nerve. So many pastors they just had to say something. Whether they were not solely against it, but more so don't get upset. For people who are really upset and fighting people on social media to prove their point that this is wrong. You're probably fighting with people who ain't never been to church, who don't know the word.
Mm.
This just leans into their bias of what church is. But again, if you are settled in yourself and in your word and your walk with Christ, he's a comedian. He is not your God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stick to your church. If your church is doing the good things, now I do question the congregations of Mike Todd and some of these pastors that do some of these extreme things that become viral. I do question that. I probably would not be a member, but if that's what they are comfortable with, so be it.
I guess.
Ye-
I guess, y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, to each his own.
to each his own.
But if you're on social media arguing with people over this stuff, and I could literally respond to you with a clip of a pastor doing exactly what you saw Druski doing, then
Exactly.
you just need to go somewhere and sit down because you're never gonna win this argument because we have the proof.
Yeah. And I got it mixed. Marvin Sapp was the one who told his people to lock the doors during the offering. It was Marvin Winans that humiliated
Oh,
the lady who was
yes.
in line. You're supposed to be in the $2,000 line. This is not $2,000.
Oh, I mixed them up too because to me it was both the same, but you're right. Two
Mhm.
different Marvins.
Marvin,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Marvins. But yeah,
Yeah.
they both did egregious things in the pulpit about money to people in their congregation. Because there's a way that you say it. Yes, the offering is a sacred point in the church, but the way, lock the doors. I said, lock the doors. That's attitude.
And
That's
why we locking doors? Like
why
that
are
feels
we
like
locking
it's against my
doors.
consent. So now I'm forced to stay here?
Close the doors. Like if I get up, what you gonna call me out? What if I gotta go to
Yes.
the bathroom? Right, and then that's gonna cause an even bigger. Because what are you doing?
He said, "Don't go
And
to the
then
bathroom
don't
while it's
go.
money time."
Don't get up while it's money time.
Nah, and see, that just makes people ask questions, and that's the thing. It's like
Hmm.
you want people to believe that everything is on the up and up. We have There's evidence of things not being on the up and up all the time, and it ain't everybody. It's
It's
never
not.
everybody,
It's never
but we know
everybody.
that it has happened before. So then, if you're doing things that cause people to ask questions, that makes them think maybe something that has happened before is happening again. How are you upset?
Hmm.
Unless you just sometimes, and I don't know this to be true, but sometimes it comes across as if they just are like, I should not be questioned. So then it's like, why should you not be questioned? Because you deliver the word of God, but you're not God.
That
You're a human
part.
being, and human beings fall short. So why would you not be questioned? But the way they present themselves and sometimes the things that they say make it sound as if they feel as if they should not be questioned. So
Mhm.
that just leads me to the next question was, so do you think you're a God? Because
Mm.
that's the way it always seems to come across.
Mhm.
And that's where it's like, I don't feel comfy.
Mhm.
I don't feel comfy. You know,
When your allegiance.
that, I wish I could remember the name of that movie with Sterling
The
K.
Sterling K? Let
Uh-huh.
me see.
But it was it was a parody too, but it was really, stemming from Bishop Eddie Long. I can't say this for sure. Allegedly, inspiration was drawn from Bishop Eddie Long, who is no longer with us. Okay.
Honk for Jesus, save your soul.
Honk for Jesus. Yes, 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 yes. And so they didn't film it at New Birth, but again, all this is in the same area of the county. And so it took inspiration a little bit from the story of Bishop
Mhm.
Eddie Long. And so when all that came out with him, I was like, I literally went to the high school where New Birth, which was the church. Church is actually run by don't let me get the line. Is it Jamal? He's
Bryant?
the one who, yes, yes, yes,
He's in it now? New Birth?
yes, yes. Double check that, Pete. Because it's not Darius Daniels. Yeah, it's Jamal Bryant. Because he's the one who was over like the Target
Mhm.
boycott and all that. Yes. So he
Mhm.
runs New Birth now. He's the
New
one
Birth, yeah.
yep. So he came in after Eddie Long died. But Eddie Long, when all that happened, I was in high school. Um, I was the age of the kids who were saying that he allegedly, um, assaulted them. And my high school, for some reason, I don't know, like I thought there was supposed to be separation of church and state and all these things, but New Birth ran our high school. Like, I mean, let me not say ran, but New Birth was in all the things at our high school. So, like, when you know how it's the end of the school year, it's the last day of school, they let the kids out, they ring the bell, everybody runs out, people all
Mhm.
pumped up. The I guess men of New Birth would come to our high school and stand guard around the school just to let you know there was a church presence and to
Mhm.
let you know, like, instead of police, we're sending the church. Okay, cool. So they would stand around, make sure everybody was doing what they supposed to do, not cause any
Yeah.
ruckus. And I remember that it was every last day of school. But it was because New Birth was for some reason our school's church.
Mhm.
Now I don't know how that makes sense because again, a church is not supposed it's not a private school, it's a public high school and all that. But they were involved in our assemblies, they were involved in all the things.
Wow.
Um and so Bishop Eddie Long was too. And so then you come to find out that he was you know, procuring young teenage boys. So
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, where'd he find these boys at? Now
Mm.
I'm not saying that the school was like his breeding ground because New Birth, especially at that time, was an insanely popular church. It's
Very
still
popular.
popular. It's still
Yeah.
popular. But it was insanely popular, but also because of him and he was a stature in the community as well. And then when all that
Yes.
stuff finds out, then it's like people find out, oh, we've been sending our kids around here to just basically be picked off. And then so when that separation happened, when the charges came down, all these things, the community really was split. It was so many people that would not leave that church because they say my pastor wouldn't do. My pastor would. My pastor was
Yeah.
the quote. Meanwhile, it's more and more and more and more children, boys,
Mm.
teenagers that I went to school with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
and so that was hard because it's like, why is nobody believing? Like, I'll be honest with you, P. I I I done drove by that man several times. He was at the gas station, his tight biking shorts and his tight. P, I'm just saying. I'm not saying like maybe pastors should be held to different
Ah,
standards. maybe they should be held to different standards, maybe not. But I'm just saying, should your pastor be out in his skin tights?
Okay.
And I
All
am
right.
not I'm not embellishing at all. And
Okay.
I every time you would see him out, you
Okay.
would give a side eye. So then when all these things came out, it's like, okay, so nobody thought it was weird that he would be at all these places, and
Wow.
like, pastors don't dress like this. I'm just saying. So anyway, um, it was hard to see that so many people were not willing to leave the church. Now, it did what it seemed like to me, and I don't know for sure, but just living in the community, it
Yeah.
seemed like to me that as time went on, it was the younger people that wasn't with it. So it was less people coming in. So it's like a whole group of people did not leave the church, but
Yeah.
bringing new people in, that's where it something happened there. So like when I came back from college and then towards, the end of my 20s, then you look and see like they ain't doing well. Why? Cuz y'all never told y'all pastor to step down
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. He didn't even need to take a break while and it was on the news every hour of the news every single day,
All the
and
time.
they would not ask
Mm-mm.
him to step away. It was egregious, really and
Mm-mm.
truly. And so then, of course, he died while still pastor, because then he got sick.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what it was. Some type of
Cancer.
cancer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he died while still, he basically was just there until he passed. And then once Jamal Bryant came in, who is he's a character in himself, but for different reasons, you know.
Hello.
Uh but
Oof.
and now it's, now it's more so like a normal big black church. But that
Okay.
time period was real weird, because it was really weird watching people older than you and really established adults and even other kids. Our high school, a lot of people went to Newburgh. Our high school was their high school. So it's like they weren't leaving it. It was just weird watching people move and act like nothing was wrong here. We're still sending our kids. Kids are still coming, whole families. We're going to support our pastor, our pastor, our pastor, our pastor, 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 pastor. And at
Mm-mm.
some point, it was like, this feels weird.
And wrong. When you're
Obviously.
blinded from the truth because of your love for the pastor and not the love of being a Christian and God and what really matters, that's a
That's all I'm
problem.
saying. And I do
That's a problem.
think, especially at that time, because Atlanta also was very much so traditional church. Like I went to AME church, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like, then you had New Birth, and it's like, oh, no, we're a little more cooler, a little more modern, a little more hip, and kids will really, people flock to that better understanding of living.
Yeah.
And so then I think it made people feel like, well, now I got to go over here, and they still singing this or that, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it'll be a transition, but I think it was a lot of probably different layers of that. But I'm glad we turned that corner, because that was a weird time, P.
What a time. There's
That
just
was a weird time. I had
scandals.
forgot all
There are a
about
lot
that.
there are a lot of scandals with certain pastors
Mhm. And
that
then we had
continue to
Creflo
happen.
A Dollar
Creflo. That's what I was about to say.
across
Who
the
else?
yeah,
Who else was in
Creflo.
Atlanta during that? So it was Eddie Long and Creflo,
Yep,
both
Creflo
in
on the other side of the city,
oh,
but yeah.
wow.
Imagine your last name Dollar. Of
Creflo
course we got
Dollar.
questions, sir.
We got
We
questions.
got questions. But yeah,
We got questions.
Creflo's name was also floated around, but more so, like about money stuff, that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
man. Yeah.
In the referencings of the skit, he talked about, "If I dream about a $65 million private plane,
Yes, he
then I
did.
think I should get a $65 million private plane."
I had forgot he said
Meanwhile
that till you sent me that, P. He sure
yeah.
did.
Meanwhile, the people in your congregation have to ride the bus.
Yeah.
What's happening around your community of your mega
'Cause
church?
he on the west side. I think
It
Creflo's still over there. I could
it
be wrong. I could be
what?
wrong. I might be wrong.
Let me
I'm
see.
wrong.
Where is he? It's
Don't tell me he done passed too, Lord.
'cause
I
it's
could be
been
wrong.
quiet. Where is
What's his
Creflo?
name of his church? Oh, World Changers. World Changers. I mean,
Huh.
yeah, church was a
He's
time
still
to like
doing
them churches. World Changers used to be fun. So
he's still
I get
doing
it.
it.
He's still there? Yeah.
Creflo Dollar Ministries. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
World Changers
Yeah.
Church International.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. I didn't
Yep.
know he was still
'Cause if
pastoring.
I'm not mistaken, it could be different now. Cause when the last time I done been but World Changers wasn't even don't let me get to lying, but they weren't even in a like a sanctuary. They was in like a building, a big ass building too. I
Wow.
could be wrong though. It's been 20 years since I've been in the place. Also, I don't even go in the church house no more now unless it's a funeral. So I was
Oh,
just
well,
in one
that's
last week. But
Lord have
yeah, so
mercy.
don't let me get to lying. But it's just been very interesting watching these shifts and changes in the church. And it's crazy because all these changes in the church, but all this is just to get to God, and that hasn't changed. All that the Bible's still the same, all that. It's the thing that y'all are telling us we gotta be forced to go through to get there.
Mhm.
And that's going through some transitions, but I guess when you think about it, it makes perfect sense because the generations that are coming up now, and I feel like it's like the millennials that have just started to kind of cut some of these cords. So when you think about it,
Mhm.
these younger generations, by the time they get our age, what is it? Some of this stuff might not even be around anymore.
I don't
Some of this
know.
stuff might die out.
That somehow they're grabbing them.
Well, yes. Yes.
Somehow. What is this? Darius Daniels. He's the other newest one that's in Atlanta too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I have watched him online now. I like his sermons.
I enjoy his sermons.
Yeah. Yeah.
He does teach the Bible, so I appreciate that. But it's entertainment. It's entertainment now, as well as church service and the word, but it's entertainment. I guess that's their way to bring people in and bring in revenue because I understand the business that you have to run the facility, people have to get paid, the musicians, all those things to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
So there's some legitimacy to asking and requiring some type of payment and dues and fees. But when it becomes too much and absorbent and you bringing in Hummer trucks and cyber trucks down the aisle, Mike Todd, that's when it's too
It's
much.
always
It's Mike
my time.
Todd. I don't understand.
It's
I don't understand it.
always him.
But his church is full. It's
Okay,
full.
Mike.
So somebody's going.
If
But
you gonna get up in that harness though
please don't. No more
and let them
harnesses.
that man was just hanging there and
No
he
more
wasn't
harnesses at the
moving. It was
church.
like I think he's doing that against his will.
Leave that to the entertainers.
Drewski had a better time on his harness than this man did.
He was so stupid.
And Drewski ain't tiny. He's not a tiny guy. Okay.
Woo! It was a good laugh, though.
It
It was a
was
good
good.
laugh.
He been doing his job as a comedian. He does his
As a
job
comedian, his
as a
skits
like
are
a social
hilarious.
media. Yeah, these whatever you call what he does.
Whatever.
He does it. He does it well. So
Productions.
girl, because he had all them extras in there, all the actors. Like you said, he was at somebody's real church.
Somebody's real church.
Somebody had
Somebody
put
let
him in a
him.
harness and like,
Mhm.
like he's really out here doing these things.
Yeah.
You know,
Somebody let them
when he went,
record there.
somebody let him up in the NASCAR. When he had a big skit that he did at Atlanta Airport.
That part.
It's like somebody let him in the airport. Somebody let
Mhm.
him in back in the lounge. Like he
Approved.
must be doing something where people are allowing him to come in and film. So, hey, but go ahead, Druski. Go ahead, young man. I ain't mad at it because these
Young
things
man.
did happen, as you said. Oh man, that man in
But
that
we needed
harness.
that laugh.
Yeah, we
We need that
always need some
laugh.
giggles.
We need to come back in. Anything
Always need
else
some
on your
giggles.
mind?
Uh, no, man. I'm just gonna try to do better this week. um, my nervous system has been doing a lot better, and I can
Excellent.
only tell that because even just how I handled that thing this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if this had been several months ago, I would have been losing my shit. We would have been late to therapy. The dog would still be over here throwing up. And I would just be like outside on the porch with my nightgown on, like, because
Yeah.
sometimes that's how I handle things. But my nervous system has been doing better. I can tell now, day by day. And if I can tell, that means there really is a difference because it probably, we be on ourselves. And so it's like, if I can tell now, like somebody said this to me a couple weeks ago, but now I can tell. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to update y'all because I think I had mentioned that my goal last year for reading my books was 50 books. And I had hit over my goal. So I'm thinking, oh, you're
Oh,
doing good. But as of January 1st, when I went and looked back at my little tracker, don't let me lie, I read 63 books last year. I said
wow.
it.
Good
Now that tells you
job.
how stressed out I was. Okay, number one.
Yeah.
Okay, but that made me happy because the year before I read probably all of one or less. Like I probably didn't finish a book because it was probably a business book because I had really taken a
Wow.
long time off. So I'm like, go ahead, Shaun. So this year, I said my goal is 100. That's not gonna happen because I got to read like 8 books a month to
Wow.
at least 8 books a month to hit 100. But it's nice to have something to shoot for. I didn't
That's
think I was gonna
right.
read 50 last year.
And look at you.
So hopefully
Overshot
I'll
it.
be less stressed. So hopefully I'll miss that goal by a lot. But either way it goes.
Good
But yeah,
job. Keep it up.
thank you, ma'am. And I picked up some more new hobbies. We'll talk about it next episode.
Okay.
Because I've been keeping you abrupt on what what I'm doing to not lose my mind. But I've been trying to find more hobbies and stuff to do to help like my stress levels and stuff. I know we talk about that. So I'll
Yes.
update you guys next week on all the things.
Okay. Well, thank you as always for coming and listening and
Thank
joining. You can
y'all.
find me on Instagram and Threads at Better3701.
And I'm on Instagram and Threads at Hey Shaunda Head. The podcast is also on Instagram at The Everything Has Changed Podcast. And we are now on YouTube at Everything Has Changed. Come check us out.
Thank you all. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Want to stay locked in with us so you never miss an episode? Visit everythinghaschangedpodcast.com and join our email list. That way you'll be the first to know about new episodes and all the fun stuff we have coming your way. Meet us over there.